Hello, and welcome back to the Better Humans Project podcast. I'm your host, Greg Pfeiffer. Today's episode is about something that quietly shapes almost every decision you make: how your brain processes the world in real time. We're talking about the high road and the low road of the brain. Two different pathways, two different speeds, two very different versions of you. One is fast, reactive, and emotional. The other is slower, reflective, and deliberate. And understanding the difference between them might just change how you show up in your life, especially in the moments that matter most. The idea of the high road and low road comes from neuroscience, particularly how the brain processes emotional stimuli. The low road is the fast track. It runs from your sensory input straight to the amygdala, the brain's threat detection system. This pathway is fast, it's automatic, it's emotional, and it's often unconscious. It's what makes you jump when you hear a loud noise, snap in an argument, or feel immediate fear before you've had time to think. The high road, on the other hand, takes a more scenic route. It passes through the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for reasoning, planning, and self control. So this pathway is slower, it's deliberate, it's rational, and it's conscious. It's what allows you to pause, assess, and respond instead of react. So let's break it down a bit. The low road is deeply tied to survival. It's part of your evolutionary wiring, your fight, flight, or freeze response. When activated, the amygdala fires rapidly. Stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline surge. Heart rate increases, and your body prepares for immediate action. This system doesn't care about accuracy, it cares about speed. It would rather be wrong than too late. The low road gets some information sent quickly, but not the whole picture, just enough to react. The high road engages your thinking brain. The prefrontal cortex evaluates context, it weighs consequences, it integrates memory and logic, and it regulates emotional responses. This system is about accuracy over speed. It helps you make decisions aligned with your values, not just your impulses. It gets a fuller picture of what's going on. In everyday life, high road and low road processing quietly shape how we react to people, stress, and unexpected situations. The low road kicks in first, fast, emotional, and automatic. So we might snap in a conversation, feel immediate anxiety, or assume the worst before we've had time to think. A moment later, the high road has the chance to step in, helping us to pause, interpret the situation more accurately, and choose a more thoughtful response. This constant back and forth influences everything from our relationships to our decision making, whether we escalate conflict or diffuse it, act on impulse or with intention, and ultimately, whether we regret our actions or feel aligned with how you want to show up. Picture this: you get a blunt message from a colleague. Your low road says, "That was disrespectful, fire back." Your high road says, "Maybe they're stressed. Let's clarify before reacting." Or someone cuts you off in traffic. The low road is anger. hitting the horn, and maybe a few choice words. The high road says, annoying but not worth ruining my day. In reality, we all use both systems, often within seconds of each other. So let's not villainize it. The low road does have some real strengths. Speed saves lives. Gut instincts can be accurate, especially with experience. Emotional responses help us connect and empathize, and it mobilizes energy quickly. In high pressure situations, the low road is your first responder, but unchecked, it can get you into trouble, overreacting or misreading situations, acting impulsively, escalating conflict, making fear based decisions, and regret after the fact. It's great for survival, but it's not always great for relationships or long term thinking. The high road is where growth lives. It involves thoughtful decision making, emotional regulation, better communication, alignment with values and goals, and long term thinking. This is where you become intentional instead of reactive. But even the high road has its limits. It's slower, sometimes too slow. It can lead to overthinking or paralysis. It requires mental energy and effort, and under stress or fatigue, it can shut down. When you're exhausted or overwhelmed, the brain defaults back to the low road. So while high road processing is often seen as the ideal, calm, thoughtful, and deliberate, it has a shadow side when it tips into overthinking. Because the high road involves the prefrontal cortex weighing options, predicting outcomes, and considering consequences, it can sometimes get stuck in a loop of what ifs. Instead of helping us act wisely, it can lead to second guessing, indecision, and constantly searching for the perfect choice. This is where paralysis by analysis sets in. The desire to make the best possible decision actually prevents any decision at all. In everyday life, this might look like endlessly replaying a conversation, delaying a decision at work, or feeling mentally exhausted from trying to control every possible outcome. The key is recognizing that high road processing is meant to guide action, not replace it. At some point, thinking has to give way to doing. Setting boundaries around decision making, like time limits, simplifying options, or accepting good enough instead of perfect, can help break the cycle. Interestingly, this is where the low road can be useful again, providing a sense of intuition or forward momentum when the high road gets stuck. So the goal isn't to eliminate deep thinking, but to balance it with trust and action, so that reflection leads somewhere productive rather than becoming a mental traffic jam. Controlling high road and low road processing isn't about stopping the low road. It's about recognizing it and creating space for the high road to engage. The low road is automatic and driven by survival instincts, so it will always fire first in emotionally charged situations. What we can control is what happens next. By building awareness of our triggers and noticing those initial reactions, tight chest, rising anger, racing thoughts, we give ourselves a small but powerful window to pause. Simple practices like slow breathing, mentally labeling the reaction, this is my low road, or stepping away for a moment help calm the nervous system and allow the prefrontal cortex, the high road, to come back online. Over time, this becomes a trainable skill. The more consistently we practice pausing and reflecting, the stronger those high road pathways become, making thoughtful responses feel more natural and less forced. Habits like mindfulness, journaling, and intentional reflection all reinforce this process, while factors like stress, fatigue, and overwhelm tend to weaken it and push us back towards automatic reactions. So, controlling these pathways isn't about perfection, it's about repetition. Each time you catch yourself, a pause, and a choice to make a more deliberate response, you're effectively rewiring your brain to default less to reaction and more to intention. You can't stop the low road from activating, that's automatic. But you can build the habit of engaging the high road after that initial reaction. So the goal isn't to eliminate the low road. The goal is to notice it and then choose your response. And that small gap between reaction and response, that's where better humans are made. This week, I want you to run a simple experiment, the pause and label challenge. When you feel a strong emotional reaction, pause. Mentally label it, this is my low road. Take one slow breath. Then ask, what would my high road response look like? You don't have to get it perfect, just notice the moment. That awareness alone starts to rewire your brain. There is a worksheet that accompanies this episode. This isn't about judging yourself, it's about observing yourself. Use the worksheet at the end of each day or the week. Keep it simple and honest. The goal isn't to eliminate emotional reactions, it's to understand them, create space, and gradually strengthen your ability to respond with intention. Think of it like training a muscle. The more you practice noticing and pausing, the more natural it becomes. The truth is, both roads are part of who you are. The low road keeps you safe, and the high road helps you grow. You don't need to choose one forever, but in each moment, you get to decide which one leads. And often, the difference between a life you regret and a life you're proud of comes down to a single pause. If you found this episode valuable, please share with somebody who might need to hear it or on your socials. If you want to reach out for more information, a copy of the worksheet, or want to share your story, you can email me at contact@thebetterhumansproject.com. Until next time, this is Greg Pfeiffer, and this is the Better Humans Project. Let's keep building better humans together. Take care.